Hello everyone, my name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium and I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today I'll be doing a platinum patron request for DJ Singletone. This is Bayonetta, Fly Me to the Moon. And when I heard that title, I was like, wait, isn't that a Frank Sinatra song? And then I noticed the notes that the requester sent and they said, yes, this is a Frank Sinatra cover. So I don't know what Bayonetta is. I know it is a platinum game. I know that it was in the news recently, and we won't talk about that. But from what I've heard a little bit of Bayonetta, maybe like one or two songs, and it's interesting to say the least. Especially if there's a Frank Sinatra cover in the game. So now I have no idea what the game is, but I've always thought the original song sounded kind of like a Christmas song, but then again, anything Frank put out kind of sounded like that to me. So I'm very curious what this is going to be because of the cover and also because it's from Bayonetta, which I've heard very rarely, but here we go. This is Fly Me to the Moon from Bayonetta. Way faster already. Oh, okay. Okay, so all the instruments kind of bring the song to life a little bit. I'll explain that later. Why is the song in this game? Well, it doesn't sound Christmas anymore. Oh, I love her voice. Why does this work so well? It's like completely different energy. Oh, we're still going. I thought it was over. The real song is pretty short, so I'd imagine they did a couple loops. Piano's been going crazy the whole song. And fast, too. Fading out. Oh, there's still a lot of video left, so... Yeah, I'm guessing they just... Okay. Sorry about the hiccup in the middle. I had a little technical issue, so I kind of just pasted the second half of the reaction together, but I just paused it right where it happened, so nothing was missed. Anyways, okay. Well, definitely a way different version of the original. The original is very short, and you know, has that certain Sinatra swing to it. Most of his, when I think of Sinatra music, I think of like the vocals are up front and center. Like the music is there, but it's kind of like taking a backseat. It's his voice and his cadence that is driving it. So in this one, when I said earlier that it sounds kind of like they brought the music out of the song, is they're taking the, you know, infamous dun da 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 dun da 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 dun. They're taking all these melodies that he sang and just kind of turn them into chords and, you know, excuse me, single note lines. So it kind of like makes the song come to life a lot more. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just, it has its own spin on it, but it's actually, the cool thing I like about covers is, you know, I know a lot about covers since that's kind of where I came from, is, you know, you want to make it your own. You know, if you just do something that's more like a tribute, where it's just like almost a one-to-one copy, that is cool as well in a certain regard. But for the most part, my mentality towards that is, well, you can just listen to the original if that was the case. For covers, it's really about, you know, the individualism and making it your own and doing what you want with it. So as far as I know, Bayonetta is not a musical game as far as like the gameplay itself. It could be, but I don't know. So I'm trying to wonder, like, where would this go? And I kept thinking of that. I'm like, where would this actually play? Unless it's some kind of silly like Easter egg, or maybe like a jukebox in the game or some secret or something like that. Or if it's just in the game normally and there's just a cover of Fly Me to the Moon, then sure. But I couldn't place it anywhere specifically. All I kept thinking was like, this soundtrack is so diverse, and it's just, yeah, it's just diverse. It's really all over the place. So it's a lot faster than the original by a long shot. It sounds like an entirely different song, to be honest, but it works. It kind of shows you how timeless, literally, that music was, where that song was recorded. I don't even know when, but older than most of us and our parents. And, you know, it still carries over to modern age with modern instruments and sounds. And the melody was strong enough that it's one of those melodies that just kind of sounds good no matter like what instrument or vocals style sing it. It's just going to sound good no matter what. It kind of reminded me of two singers a little bit. It had a little bit of like Gwen Stefani. Like if No Doubt did like a cover of Fly Me to the Moon, it would kind of sound like that, except not as like electronic and not as fast, but close. And also, I don't know her name, is the singer for the Cardigans. You know, she has an iconic voice that's very similar to this. If you're trying to remember who the Cardigans are, if you ever played Gran Turismo 2, the theme song, the very beginning, my favorite game, that's the Cardigans. So, you know, or that, I don't know what it's called. Say that you love me. That song. So it sounded like a kind of a hybrid of a lot. I don't remember, because I've only heard, I want to say this is my third Bayonetta song I've heard on the channel, maybe less. I don't remember if this vocalist was in those two or not. Also, this might be my first Bayonetta. I think the other ones were Bayonetta 2. I don't know. I don't really look things up before I start recording. I could, but it's more fun to just kind of... The reason I don't do that is I feel like when I don't do it, it's like I'm going in blind again. You know, I could just like go look it up and be like, oh, what did I actually do? Sometimes I'll remember, and if it really stood out, but most of the time I just kind of, I just come in with a blank mind and click play. But yeah, this, from what I've noticed, Platinum has a history of putting good music in their games. MGR, Nier, and now Bayonetta. I don't know what else they've made, but I don't know if that's a coincidence or if they've just been lucky, but it seems like each three of those titles have had like their fan bases of music, and they're all so different. Nier is so different from, they're all different composers, obviously, but actually I don't even know who I don't know anything about Bayonetta. The only thing I know about Bayonetta is that she's a super hated character in Smash Brothers. That's about it. But I had no idea she had her own game until this channel. People started submitting stuff to it. So my main curiosity here is, what is this correlation with the original song, if any? Or if it's just literally a cover for no reason. And if you spotted it, it's like an Easter egg and you're like, whoa, hey, I know that song. Because I'm really trying to think of like what other way you can incorporate like Frank Sinatra into a modern game besides like a music homage or something. So, but it was really cool, super catchy. I like both versions, obviously. This one had definitely brought its own, and I have a soft spot for covers because, like I said, as an artist, if you can do it right, then it's a huge honor. I can't imagine someone like covering one of my songs. That has to feel amazing. So it'd be very fun to see what Frank would think about this. Just curious. Probably not up his alley, but you gotta appreciate it, So another Bayonetta song. There's still more coming too, but this one was actually requested quite a bit once I started doing the Bayonetta series. This one came in quite a bit, but it was obviously requested by DJ Singleton, who used the platinum tier to bump it all the way to the top. So speaking of which, if you want to request something yourself, you could do so on Patreon or PayPal. Those are the ways I will check them out. If you do not want to wait in the huge waitlist, you can do exactly what DJ Singleton did, and that is, again, the platinum tier expedites your request to the very top, eliminating the wait. And a big thank you to the other members of that right now: Justin, Kevin, Moon Knight, DJ Singleton, Your Average Metalhead, and Mushi Mary. Shout out to DJ Singleton as well. Showed me a lot of Persona stuff, some Splatoon stuff. So they got good requests, and now Bayonetta. So keep it coming. Until next time, dudes and dudettes, my name is Jesse, and I will see you in the auditorium. Peace.